Okay, round two. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, oh, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Where? Sitting over there in the booth crying like a mug. You know, that's weird, right? Christian Harloff of all people. Honestly, it's funny, right? You got a lot of these people out here that have major channels and networks, and they're all part of something great. You know, you ever create something, and you don't know how far it's going to go, but then you go ahead and you do it anyway because you're eager to find out. And then you say like you get a chance to be a part of something bigger. And then you can go to those major events and all those nice openings and go to like Comic Cons and stuff like that. You know, you don't even have your booth yet. People don't know who you are, but you have that opportunity. And because this jerk couldn't go to Galaxy's Edge, he went and fell apart like this. And then here comes that douchebag producer that shows up out of nowhere and wants to go ahead and throw his 2 cents in. You're going to do it anyway. Man, I was falling back laughing. Oh, man. Oh, hey, look. 11:38. Made it just in time because you know what it is. Welcome to the J-Man Show here on
J360 Radio.
Hey, what's going on, Jay?
Judy was boring.
Hello.
Then Judy discovered ChumbaCasino.com.
It's my little escape.
Now Judy's the life of the party.
Oh, baby, mama's bringing home the bacon.
Whoa, take it easy, Judy. The Chumba life is for everybody. So go to ChumbaCasino.com and play over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
360 Legion, how's it hanging? You know, it seems like we just met not too long ago, right? You remember the Monday episode that came out of nowhere? Well, hey, welcome to the sequel to it, because it is episode 103, and you're back on the J-Man Show, and I'm your host, J-Man himself. Yeah, so, very interesting, huh? You know, it doesn't take much for people to you know, if you look at some of these franchises we have in our lives, right? You know, from Star Wars to Indiana Jones to even Sonic the Hedgehog and quite a lot of other ones out there, like Marvel in general, really, DC too. You look at all these franchises we have and then you think, man, this is as good as it gets. It feels good to be a part of the nerd culture. Or you know what? Why even label ourselves at this point? It feels good to be a fan. That is until that third degree comes along. And you know what the third degree is, right? No. It's not because, like, somebody that you didn't expect or you don't like gets casted into a movie. Or that your fan theory just didn't work out the way it's supposed to. Or you're still sitting there butthurt about the ending of Game of Thrones. Which this is the third time I'm talking about Game of Thrones, right? Or fourth time. Either way, look. The idea is that third degree comes from entitlements. It comes from the idea that, hey, you know, I was on the right track because of coincidence, or I was on the right track because, hey, maybe they just needed a little help to finish out that plot line they just couldn't get to, even though they don't credit you for a thing, because guess what? To you, you're just pretty much payment for them. You see, the funny part about it is entitlements. Fan entitlements. Oh, yeah, we got to go out of our way. Yeah, it's not like we're making a high-concept, big-budgeted project that's probably losing money every time we get because of either unions or people disagreement on payment or whatever. It could be a whole list of factors. The actor is sick or the actor may have died. It could be all those things. But then you have people who fall out of sides with themselves, or they always complain about this and that or whatever because, you know, they just weren't a part of the project process as they thought they were. And you see, the beautiful part about that is that people will come up out of nowhere and say, no, they should have stuck with the plan right here. And, it could have worked out the way it was supposed to. And it would have been a better show because of it. No, I didn't get what I wanted, so I'm going to go file a petition. Yeah. Rather than just sit and actually create something from my own perspective because, hey, that's work. No, I'm going to go ahead and write a petition down and put it on change.org, and I'm going to go ahead and get in the way of other things that probably need help. I probably need some sort of change, and go ahead and work on something and disrespect the filmmakers that were a part of it. Yeah, because you're on this full-on crusade to think that it's all about you, isn't it? Those of you out there who are probably mad right now or probably annoyed by me and using that voice, yeah, I'm a little annoyed too. That's why I got this silk milk right here. I gotta keep the pipes hydrated, people. But the thing is this. If you are feeling the puckering of your anus at that point as I said that, yeah, you're part of the problem. You see, being butthurt about things that you have no control over is a waste of time. If you don't want to invest in it, you don't have to invest in it. Don't expect to get like a giant invitation to something. Now, some of y'all out there are pulling some good numbers. I'm proud of you. Yeah, like look at my numbers, for instance. They're not on the high scale, but people know who I am, right? And the beautiful part about it is this. It's not on the high scale compared to Karloff's whole thing. Karloff. No. I would love to meet Boris Karloff, to be honest with you. I'll just have to go to his grave one day and talk to him. But the thing is that Harloff's whole thing, he's mad because he didn't go to the grand opening of Galaxy's Edge, that large scale exhibit of like Star Wars come to life out there in Disney. From the looks of the pictures and everything, it looks awesome. It looks like something to really partake in. And then he goes on a rant about how he's been a fan for 5 years. Boy, if I had a nickel of how long I've been a fan of certain things. I mean, hell, my fandom of the Philadelphia sports team alone, all of them should really grant me access to every time they got an event going on, right? And free access at that. Get my tickets and stuff. Yeah, isn't that amazing? Yeah, I could go to all those things and then some. But guess what? As soon as I show up the gate, security's going to look me in the eye and say, what's your ticket number, jerk? And I'll be like, hey, don't call me a jerk. This is my ticket. Oh, yeah, you didn't go ahead and get these in the mail. No. You bought these. Yeah, because I have the money to spend for these things. But you see what I'm saying? It's that, hey, don't expect to get invited to certain things. It's like, they have that nice Jedi show. I mean, there's a lot of Star Wars fans out here. If you're not going to be in the rush to get there, does that make you less of a fan? Does it really make you less of a fan to not go to these things on day one? I can understand a lot of us have our own contents to build, though, such as blogging, such as putting our 2 cents out there and going ahead and using every hyperbolic statement we have just so that we can have that impact and let people know that we're edgy. Even though at some point or another, if they really had the guile enough, they could go ahead and do their sort of shows too. I think about it a lot. Like, from up to this point when Captain Marvel came out, or even when Civil War came out, when you got people that sit there and go on their tangents about everything, you got to understand there is that certain percentage where they're wrong about something and they can't handle it. Or they go on that other percentage where it's like, oh no, I got to keep kissing Disney's ass so that I can get to every PR event that I can get to. I could go ahead and look at Disney and say, hey, you're responsible for all this crap. But at the same time, I could always say this, think inwards a little bit. You don't throw away your fandom just because you didn't get invited to a certain event. You don't throw away your fandom just because you get an ending of something that you don't like. Like, say Star Wars Episode 8 came out. And it came out during a time where, there's a bunch of Star Wars fans that are heavily polarized all the way back to when the prequels came out anyway. And the more I think about it and the more I see it, I'm like, are these people even fans of this stuff anymore? Or are they just critics? I mean, it's easy to criticize something. I mean, after a while, y'all ran George Lucas off, believe it or not, because of your attitudes and stuff. And then all of a sudden, You miss him now. You're like, oh, Kathleen Kennedy's destroying the galaxy. Oh, this is all coming to an end. I can't really deal with this anymore, even though I'm part of the problem. And that's the thing, right? It's like, hey, look, we had 3 great classic movies. And this goes for, 3 good classic movies. And you can consider who hated the Star Wars prequels right now, they're out here celebrating them. I mean, episode 1 just turned 20 not too long ago, and everybody was running around celebrating that. So deep down the inside, some of y'all like them prequels about as much as me. So you might want to just come on ahead and admit it instead of just saying, oh, I'm butthurt because I don't like Jake Lloyd's acting. Yeah, well, you should watch it for what I watched it for. The battle with Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, and Darth Maul. That's what I went to go see it for. And not only that, if you really look at those prequel movies over again, and I've said this before, when you look at them and see how the Empire came about, it's a much better set of movies. Like, you don't have to just look at it for the main plot. I mean, one way or another, Luke and Leia had to be born. So, you just have to be like, yeah, it seems kind of forced. It seems kind of this. But, a lot of y'all are not Don Juan and experts at dating either. I'm sure a lot of y'all had some awkward moments before you met your future spouses or prisoners, no matter what the outlook may be. But you see, what I'm saying is, yes, we went through those movies, but those movies weren't really as bad as people make them out to be. The hyperbolic statements and all the yada, 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 back and forth and static here and there is kind of what gives those movies their, pretty much their salty intake, among other things, because I'm sure a lot of y'all got your reasons. I just don't give a damn. But I do know this much. It doesn't stop you from investing in it. It doesn't stop you from going to the movies and stuff. It doesn't stop you from saying, hey, you know what? This happened in 2012. I'm going to ride this out. So you're just like me. As soon as December rolls around, guess what? We're all going to see episode 9 anyway. Because that's just the way it goes. Even though episode 8, was pretty much the idea of a first draft fanfic gone wrong. The point is, you got what you wanted, right? Different directors, a whole lot of hands involved, and no direction at all. But at least now you can go ahead and bank off of nostalgia and actually go to the Galaxy's Edge and go and visit and experience it and everything else. You're pretty much there where the Millennium Falcon is, among other things. But, see, the thing about Harloff's whole thing is I can understand why he was upset. I can understand why he feels that he's entitled to that. I mean, maybe he worked really hard. Maybe he went ahead and sold and eat, sleep, and breathe Star Wars. At the same time, though, see, I guess I had a little bit more time in it than him because I'm not in that 5-year bracket. I've been a Star Wars fan as long as I've been alive, so it's kind of interesting that he would go ahead and put a timestamp on it. But, when you got little reports like that and, you're going to talk about experiences from different people who went to the event or try to hold up your whole show and not go ahead and follow through on an assignment, maybe you have a legitimate reason to do it. But I look at that video now and I see how that producer tried to chime in there and say, you're going to do it anyway. It's your job. He must be a new guy or something. He must be somebody that, thinks, oh, yeah, I could go ahead and chime in and tell the host that he still works for me, yada, yada, yada. Now, I'm sure this guy licensed out his show to be a part of Collider, because Collider didn't create this show, right? So, at best, that's his program. He's allowed to go about it any way you want to. But when you're the producer chiming in on that kind of stuff, you kind of need to go to commercial, go off air, and then talk to him. And the thing about it is that you're not off the air if you're acting that way. It's all on how you treat people. But if you're really a Star Wars fan, kind of follow through on some things too now. People are tuning in. You got large amount of numbers. You don't have to start acting like, oh, I'm Howard Stern. I'm entitled to doing different things. I mean, even though Howard Stern is an idol, and I think he's amazing, he's always been my idol. But what I'm saying is you don't have to act all like that. You just have to be like, let's create this. Let's make something new about it. Let's talk about this, but let's move on forward. Because you still got a show to do. I mean, would you like to sit back, listen to 30 minutes of me complaining about, like, hey, guess what, guys? You know, the latest new Avengers movie came out, and they didn't invite me to go. And I've been a fan for well over 10 years. You know what I mean? I was in middle school when the movies came out. They owe me. They owe you a damn thing. As far as I'm concerned, you lining out their pockets day in and day out. No matter what day or time you go to those movies, the more you invest in them, the more that you have sent that any of those people that are working on that thing, you done sent their kids to college because of all your investment. So think about it. They don't owe you a thing. And what also is intriguing, because I'm not going back to the Harloff story, it's amazing how people always complain about somebody who was on a project last time that they didn't like, and then they go ahead and they're up for the running of being the face of either a new DC property or a new Marvel property. And yes, Robert Pattinson is the Batman. Deal with it. I mean, hell, your butthurtness is one of the many reasons why Ben Affleck ran off. The point is that guess what? We can't have nice things because of that. We can never have nice things because there is no acceptance going on. You see, a lot of y'all think about him as Edward Cullen from the Twilight stuff. Twilight it's been what, 10 years or so since Twilight? 5 years, I want to say. No, 10 years about. Yeah, that stuff's over. But if you take a look at his other work, you can see that the guy has range. The guy is good at what he does. Gives 110 for the business. And he isn't pretty much like Christian Stewart, who shall remain nameless, even though I announced her name. But that was the joke. But when you think about it, Robert Pattinson isn't that bad of a choice. A lot of y'all were going for Nicholas Hoult, but I think Nicholas Hoult can find something else to be a part of. I mean, wasn't he in the Tolkien movie too? And, you know, X-Men just came out not too long ago. So, you know, it's little things like that. So either way, he'll be fine. I think he'll probably go into another franchise of his own. If they ever make another Green Arrow franchise for the movies and stuff, I'd say he should be Green Arrow. But that's just me in my opinion. But when it goes right to it, though, we need to give these people a chance to perform and act. I mean, you can't just go ahead and say, yeah, good, I don't like it, you know, going into spurgs and being overreacting about these things. We got to see how it goes. I think he could do the Batman justice. And this is supposed to be part of a new trilogy, right? So there might be a chance this is okay. However, I'm still wondering about, is the DCEU universe all self-contained universes? Or is it a large amount of, is it all going somewhere? Like, which end is up in this franchise exactly, I wonder? That's the only thing about the DCEU. But you know what's cool is, maybe we could get a Crisis on Infinite Earths kind of movie. Because right now it's like Infinite Earths is going on. So who knows? Maybe this all leads somewhere after a while. Though at the end of the day, I think kind of the shared universe aspect has lost its novelty and we're all just used to it now. Yep, pretty much. But hey, I live in the generation where people will complain about that, bitch and moan about Game of Thrones, try to underperform Godzilla if they could. Like, you look at all these critics out here saying this stuff. And I was looking at the Forbes article today, and I was like, you guys know nothing about this, do you? Evidently so, because right now you got whoever you got behind the computer screen writing this stuff obviously has no intent on seeing this movie, showing their bias, finding more ways to ruin something to succeed. And that's the worst part about it. And then, like, you know, like the new Spider-Man. Like, to this day, everybody still have an argument about which is the best Spider-Man. I don't think Andrew Garfield did such a bad job, but he was more like a hipster Peter Parker. I think Tobey Maguire was okay, but that's my nostalgia talking because, you know, he was the first live-action full movie Spider-Man. No offense to Nicholas Hammond, even though Nicholas Hammond did okay too. If you ever watched the 70s show, you might be in for a disappointment though, because there's little to no web swinging in that. But I look at Tom Holland, and I think Tom Holland he's still growing into being Spider-Man. we'll see what happens with this Spider-Man 3. Who knows? Deadpool might be in it. I mean, a lot of y'all are probably happy about that. I'll tell you what's a real downer, though. How come the New Mutants didn't come out this year? I mean, did it really need that many reshoots? I think at best, that movie right there could have been a pretty good X-Men movie. Even though it's not really X-Men, it's, well, it is, but it isn't. It's kind of like Legion. And maybe The Gifted. Though at the same time, trying to connect all those sources into their installments is, oh God, it's like a juggling act. But then again, if you really look at the comics back, the comics kind of have their whole continuity, Shaft, this and that, and alternative timeline here, and all this other stuff there. It makes sense in context in a way. But a lot of people have been saying that it was average this time around for Dark Phoenix. Now, keep in mind, I haven't seen it yet. But I'm thinking this. If it's better than Apocalypse, and the villains actually have a strong role in this, instead of just being featured and pop up now and again just to try to get in a telepath's body, I think I'll be okay with this. I think I might. But, let's not get away from the point of the view here. The thing is that, look, if you don't get to go to cons and you don't get to go to any of these, these movies on day one and stuff like that, it doesn't make you less of a fan. I don't know when that started becoming a gold medal to show your fandom by saying, oh yeah, I was there day one. I called sick for work to do it. Yeah. And I said to hell with the babysitter and stuff. I brought the baby in with me. People will go too far with this stuff. And then they got the nerve to go ahead and say all these outlandish things that have little to do with the movie, but have a lot to do with their own screwed up lives. And then they'll go ahead and say, I deserve to be there. No, you deserve to be at home with a shrink. That's what you deserve to be with. And the truth is because you're kind of ruining the whole aspect of what makes this stuff enjoyable. And not only that, at the same time, you're lucky I'm not punching you in the throat right now so I can actually understand the plot. It's just little things like that. It's going to get worse. Because, what with the rise of the internet and what with everybody having access to so many things and over talking and stuff and going ahead and saying, I can't agree with your idea even though it makes sense. And everybody's fifis because our feelings are more important than our logic and reasoning. It's just, wow, that we are even in this spot right now. But at the same time, you're not proving anything because this whole thing is unity. So, like, when I go see and enjoy, like, I don't go to the movies on day one. I just don't. I don't have time to hear somebody in the back quoting things word by word, say, that doesn't make sense. That doesn't fit in with my lore, because the lore is very important. I don't have time for that. I don't have time to smell somebody's body odor and crap every time I'm sitting in there and I'm trying to listen to the Dolby Atmos tell me exactly what's going on the feature and everything else. I don't have time for it. So, I go when I feel like going. And then I go ahead and I report my 2 cents and I put it up there when I need to. And you know how the spoiler rule goes here in J360 Productions. Usually the first 2 weeks, you don't get a spoiler. But by the 3rd or 4th week, you better get off your lazy ass and actually go to the movie. Because we're going to talk about everything. Everything. You understand what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I mean, if I can't go, like, say this, the Keystone Comic Con, I would love to make an appearance there with a booth. If I can't go there, hey, I just can't go. So I go ahead and I focus on the next one. I'll just go, like, whenever else I can go. Or, like, if the Baltimore Comic Con happens, just go there, give it a shot, see if I like it. And you know what? I'll probably go there on the second day. Or even the last day, because guess what? That's just the way it goes. I'm not going to stop being a Star Wars fan if I don't go to Galaxy's Edge. I'm not going to stop being a Marvel fan, even though people are out there trying to petition that Iron Man should come back to life. No. Once again, he died Yeah, deal with it, y'all. He died so that everybody else can come back and survive. And the point is, it makes a thriving plot point. Because he was never going to stop being Iron Man. Think about it. But now that he's done, he can finally rest, and all the meaningful things that happen in Endgame are there. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to go ahead and you're going to totally override and try to wipe that out because you're not okay with it. No. Once again, you're a fan. Be a fan. Pick up some comic books and go ahead and read all those comic books you can, because at least Iron Man's still alive in those comics. Hell, even Captain America came back in the comics. You don't have to worry about it, and there is no licensing issue at all, which is what I'm doing. I sit here, I see the movie, I'm like, that's cool. And then I always have my comic books that I can go ahead and look into and be like, yep. Ain't got to worry about nothing. No advertisement here. Oh, wait, here's one. Spoke too soon on that. But look, boy, if I had J360 TV up and running, I would actually show you this. But, as I sit here and I read these things, I mean, I can see the Silver Surfer in the back corner. I can see the Baxter Building, home of the Fantastic Four right here. You're not going to see those yet until they start getting them together for, phase 4, phase 5 of the Marvel Universe. And sometimes I just can't wait. So at least when I got the source material, I don't have to. You know what I mean? And, I never got to meet Stan Lee. I wish I did, but, in a way, I'm kind of happy I did, because I don't want to meet my heroes that often. As I grow and become more of a media professional, there's a lot of people in the industry I really just don't want to meet. I'm too busy just trying to do my own thing, and they'll come see me when the time is right. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not entitled to anything. The only thing I can do is just keep making products, keep making moves, working with the community around me. And then, the numbers will grow on their own. And if you guys are willing to invite me to some of your events, hey, I'll just make time and go. I know that there's some people, even here in the great state of DE, I still need to visit and go see. But if I can't make it there, I just can't make it. And I can't get butthurt about it, and you shouldn't be butthurt either. Because there's just no time for it, folks. I mean, being butthurt is like the easiest thing in the world. And nowadays, if you are going to be butthurt, I need you to fill out one of these butthurt reports. And then I will file it under I don't give a damn. That's just the way it goes. I'm sure some of y'all went back and took a look at some of these older episodes of the J-Man Show to this episode of the J-Man Show possibly. And we're like, I don't like the context of what he's saying. And well, as I slide on these beautiful sunglasses, deal with it. Because that's just the way it goes here on out. But yeah, so here's how it goes. If you really like something so much, I can understand your passion. But here's the thing, there are other people out here that like it too, and they might not be as invested in it as you are. Or they're probably invested in it in some part, maybe the comic books. You got some people that love Star Wars who have never seen the movies, but they love the comics. Or you got some people that love the books and they've never read the comics. Or they got some people who love the toys. It's so meta that the thing is that people will go into the fandom any other way they can. You don't have a landmark on it. You are not landowner of any of this stuff. So at the end of the day, back the hell up. Let people enjoy their fandom the way they want to. And at the same time, don't be showcasing and throwing your ego about thinking that you're entitled for stuff just because you are a fan of something. And if you do get that chance, cool. Good on you. But then there are other people out there who don't care. They just want to see a good movie. Or they just want to see an awesome show. Or they want to see their characters come to life. And for those of you out there who are creators, okay, let me tell you something. If you got somebody out here who is butthurt, uptight and stuff, and they're saying things about you, you can respond back if you want to, entirely your choice. But here's how it goes. Let that free advertisement run. Let it run on out, right? Because that's exactly what it is. If my name is coming out of your mouth every so often, I'm enjoying that stuff. Because let me tell you what, I love hearing people talk about me. You should feel the same. Because at that point, your brand is growing. At that point, all that stuff about you is growing. It might be in the opposite direction a little bit, but hey, we could turn the red into green soon enough. And you know what? As it becomes green, it becomes even more green. And when it becomes even more green, it becomes money. Greenbacks, baby. Greenbacks. See, I can't get rich if you're not buying. And since I'm saying it, you're going to buy it. You're going to take it all. And while you're at it, I'll just be sitting back chilling. Just like any of them other people you don't like, but you're still going to invest because guess what? You're a fan. Woo, that's wicked. Anyway, guys, I just had to go ahead and jump in on this, and I wanted to go ahead and give you guys another episode before Wednesday was up, and it's 12:07 right now, so I guess this is more of a halfling episode, where one comes in on Wednesday and the other one escapes on Thursday. But, in a way, you could think of this as an unofficial double special or triple feature, I guess. Because, yeah, you ended up getting JRL 3 last Friday. You ended up getting, episode 102 on Monday. So you got this episode today. So, yeah, hey, killing it, man. Now, the thing is that do you need a mini bite this week? Well, that's something I'll figure out later. But until then, this is the J-Man signing off. I want you all to take it easy and, just be humble because a job's a job. And unless you've been on a film set or really know what these people go through to make these things happen for you and your entertainment, you're just being a jerk. But other than that, peace out, y'all.
With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.